Hey everybody and welcome back. I believe this is episode number 5. If not, you'll find out in the title of the Dark Souls Remastered Be the Man playthrough. I'm Fox for this Fox Chat-Thru, otherwise known as just a playthrough. When last we left off, we were right here at this bonfire. We came here earlier to unlock the DLC area, so we have already taken care of the 2 boars, who were a bore to fight. I'm just kidding. Today's drink of choice is hot cinnamon tea. I made a little too much, had to split it into 2 different mugs. That's the sound of a metal spoon hitting the mug. Let's take a sip of the one that has very little in it. This one cooled down faster. Ah, there we go. Honey cinnamon tea. I do not like that it takes 4 shots. Okay. The only catch here is we also don't want to get hit by that guy's arrows. They do a massive amount of damage. We killed that guy through the wall. That was cheap and lazy, but that's fine. Excuse me. I've had a cough, some allergies, things I'm working on. It is probably not COVID-19, guys, in case you're wondering. By the way, most of the data is out. The lockdowns didn't work. The data is pretty clear that the lockdowns didn't work. Places that locked down didn't have noticeably lower death rates than places that did lock down, and it didn't seem to matter whether it locked down at all, whether it locked down sooner, whether it locked down later, whether it had a stricter lockdown or a less strict lockdown. None of that seemed to really... Excuse me, guys. I've been having this cough for a while now. None of that really seemed to matter at all. So, in case you're wondering about our drink of the day, it is honey cinnamon tea. I brew it up with black tea, and then I add raw unfiltered honey, as well as Ceylon cinnamon, which is supposed to be like a better cinnamon, a more natural cinnamon, a flavor more. It's definitely more flavorful. You can tell. Now, how natural is it? Shoot, I don't know. I'm gonna try to. Okay. Oh shit! I thought that might happen. I'm trying to get to him. Excuse me. Right after he shoots. Yep, see? As soon as he starts the animation to disappear, he is gone. You cannot attack him at that point, which kind of sucks, even though he's there. I think there's something behind me, so I need to be careful. Yeah, there he is. 1, 2, 3. But you know what, guys? The Karens of the world, if you don't know that meme, look it up. The Karens of the world are... Wow, he came down here. That's nice. I like that. The Karens of the world are very excited to do whatever they're told to do about the shutdown. They think it helps. Karens always want to believe that there's something they can do to make themselves safer. In this case, it really doesn't matter. But, you know, to the Karens, they think that they've always got to make things safer. That's why Karens are the ones who buy hand sanitizer. Karens are the ones who buy, you know, disinfectant, laundry soap. Karens are the ones who buy hand soap that says it kills 99.9% of germs, because they're always trying to keep themselves and everyone else around them safe. And that is one of the inherent characteristics of the feminine, is the desire for safety. It is biological, it's genetic, it's natural, so we shouldn't get mad about it. You can make fun of it, you can poke fun at it, obviously. You know, we're not here to pretend that everything's equal and opposite, and everything's equally valid across from one gender to the next, all 2 of them. But I would say the desire for safety is mostly unnecessary nowadays. Mostly. Because you have most of the safety that you need to sort of like pre-built. It's baked in, so to speak. It's baked into society. You really don't need to be extra cautious, extra careful, always looking out, as a general rule. Now, I wouldn't say you shouldn't be aware of your surroundings. You shouldn't have that, you know, that awareness sense that, like, gun advocates would say and all that. It's not that you shouldn't be aware of the dangers present in society, but the more primal need to seek out safety and security is just really not a thing in modern society for the most part. Not a necessity, although it is still biological programming. It's kind of like your desire to eat simple carbohydrates. What was that noise I just heard? Oh. It's the noise it makes reflecting off the crystal. Okay, it sounded like it was hitting off a shield. You know, you will have women to have that desire because they think that the most important thing This will make sure that we don't get cursed. Actually, you know, my health is already... Let me... No, there's no way I could get fall damage jumping down those stairs. Okay. We probably don't need that, and I can cure the curse if need be, so let's do that instead. We can maybe use that ring on Seath. In the real Seath fight, not this one. Let's take a direct shot. Here we go. Oh, yes. Yeah, see? No need for that curse protection at all. So, the need for the security, the safety, is an inherently feminine trait. The desire to take risks, to get out there, to put it on the line, to challenge oneself, is inherently a masculine trait. No, that does not mean that women don't go skydiving or rock climbing or anything. And no, it doesn't mean that there are no men that seek safety. These are kind of general rules. And the reason I say that is because it's a good idea to be aware of what is inherently feminine and what's inherently masculine so that you do not overemphasize what is inherently feminine. That's not something you want to do. It's a bad idea. You do want to emphasize what is inherently masculine, even if it doesn't come as natural to you. The masculinity comes more natural to some men and less so to others. And there are a lot of reasons we could talk about why that is. I don't know. I don't know. Let's do a little bit of organization here. By the way, guys, I just bought a new monitor. I finally went and decided to buy a monitor that has... Let's see. If we ever go to Sparkly or Snuggly, whatever her name is, and do trades, we'll pull them back out of storage. I just don't use those, you know? We'll keep a couple of those. I typically don't use fire bombs, so... Throwing knives, no. Those are mainly to get attention, really. Let's make sure we have a couple of those on hand at all times. Let's keep a couple of those handy so we don't burn them all up. So, I think let's keep a couple of those, make sure we never run out completely. Always some in the stash. There's an inherent sense that men... Hang on. Alright, that's the end of that mug of tea. We're going to move on to the bigger one that's much hotter. Here we go. This is a tea I haven't had in a while. I finished up one last container of honey. I've got so much honey. All raw, all unfiltered. I think that's the way it should be, guys. Let's put a few of these in storage, huh? Make sure that we don't burn them all up. By the way, you can only keep one Firekeeper soul in bottomless box per source. Wherever you got that Firekeeper soul, it is unique to that particular type. So if you got this Firekeeper soul from killing, say, the Firekeeper in Orlando, then if you kill her again and get another one, you can keep that one on your person. You cannot put it in the bottomless box. It would count as a duplicate. I don't think they stack either. Not to my knowledge, at least. We'll store those over there for now. We'll put some of these in storage so that we can always get more. There we go. Soul of Artorias, Soul of Gwen is already in there. We'll keep one of those on hand. Rubbish. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Let's put 4 of those in there. Okay. So, that is well organized for the most part. Now, we could go through here and clean out the armors and all that stuff, but you know what? We're not going to bother with that. All I'm going to do is get rid of duplicate rings. And then rings I know we're not going to use at all. There's just no reason to have lots of the same thing on us, you know? Whoop. Okay. There we go. We cleaned that up a bit. So I ordered a new monitor. The monitor I have now is G-Sync. Is a G-Sync monitor. The monitor I'm getting is called G-Sync compatible, also FreeSync compatible. I don't know if it has a G-Sync specific module in it or if it's just compatible through, you know, Adaptive Sync, FreeSync, whatever they call that. Open Sync, they should call it, you know. It doesn't matter as long as it works with G-Sync and whatnot, or just like free syncing, basically. I think is what it is. NVIDIA basically uses that format. That's not 100% true. But anyway, long story short, it's a way to get your game to play more smoothly when the frame rate goes up and down, especially if the frame rate doesn't match the refresh rate of your monitor. I've been wondering 144 hertz monitor now, G-Sync module built into it. It has this flicker issue, and I found this flicker issue, and people list what they think are fixes for it. There is no fix. If you don't have 100% support between the monitor and the application both, then when you run an app, and this is mainly in borderless windowed mode, it can cause the screen to do this really, really fast, ever so slightly noticeable flicker. And you mainly notice it in like dark black areas. So on title screens of games is where I notice it. Also in dark areas of the games I'll notice it as well. So I got this other monitor in the hopes that it would take care of that issue. It's an issue I've had since I bought this monitor. The one I have now is an AOC. I don't remember the module name, but the one I got, it may also be AOC. I can't remember now because I looked at so many different models. I actually ordered one, and it said it would come on whatever specific date, and then when that date rolled around, it asked me, hey, would you like to reorder it? It's not available now. And I'm like, what? So apparently, I don't know. And then it asked me to confirm whether I want to reorder because it didn't show up. And then I clicked reorder, and it said, we'll let you know if and when it ships or something like that. So no. Not interested in that. I want my monitor coming for sure. So the monitor I got's 1080p. I don't need to go beyond that. I know a lot of people are like, what are you, crazy, dude? 1080p? That's old school. But 1080p is good enough for me right now. Oh, shoot. I am going to die if I get hit here. Let me heal up. Yes, that did block it. Okay. I'm going to go get this guy. Hopefully we'll get him with one backstab. We need one more hit. Let me get him before the other guy shows up. There we go. Okay, now we're sitting pretty. That's good. So hopefully I won't have any problems with this monitor. It'll work flawlessly. It's essentially not frame free, bezel free. We don't want anything to be frame free here, do we, guys? Go back and watch my series Red Pill Basics. We start by talking about frame, I think, for 2 episodes. Great series to watch. Look up Dark Souls Red Pill Basics. You guys will love it if you don't know anything about the red pill. It's for men, not women. And so hopefully that monitor will be everything I need. It'll have the 1080p, the 144 hertz, the 1 millisecond response time. It says it's slightly less, but it's basically 1 millisecond. It says it has VESA standardized HDR, although I don't know if it's like real HDR or that sort of, I don't know what it's emulated or pretend HDR. I guess there's different standards of HDR. But it'll be good enough, I think. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a slightly more expensive monitor than the ones I purchased in the past. The most expensive one I ever bought was $400, but it was only $400 because it had the G-Sync module installed. And that's when G-Sync modules made all monitors like an extra $200. So it really was a $200 monitor with a G-Sync module in it. Is really what it was. I've always bought cheaper monitors, and I've decided to stop doing that. So the one I bought was like almost $350. It was more than that when it was newer. It's an older monitor. I'm also able to save quite a bit because it's 1080p. So when you consider that it's only 1080p, that is an expensive monitor nowadays. It's 24.5 inch 1080p monitor. And, you know, almost, well, you know, the better part of $400. That's expensive for that. You know, it's not 1440p. It's not 4K. It is 144 hertz, though. I do like that. I love having really, really smooth frame rate. I love having really, really smooth gameplay. And high frame rates can do that. I don't think 240 is worth it. The extra cost and issues involved with that. I mean, a lot of games can't hit 144 because they're locked to like 60, or they just, you know, they're just, with the graphics turned up to even medium, you're not going to get that because it's just too good, you know, the graphics are too good. So I think 144 hertz is like the sweet spot. I think that's the best you really should aim for. That's my opinion, of course. Now, if you're playing competitive Counter-Strike, then yeah, 240 is fine. Counter-Strike's an old game. You're going to be able to hit 240 on modern hardware. No problem. And you will get some slight benefit from it. Not a ton, but some. Enough, probably, to make it worth it, I think. If you're a competitive gamer. If you're not a competitive gamer, you probably wouldn't really notice the difference between 144 and 240 as it pertains to gameplay. So, given that safety and security is a more feminine trait, you guys notice what's happening in society. In most countries, there's been some sort of quarantine / lockdown / limitation on what you can do during the coronavirus scamdemic, as I call it, because this is not really a pandemic. You know it's not a pandemic because you know what doesn't happen during pandemics? You don't have empty hospitals. You don't have doctors and nurses being furloughed and laid off for lack of work. That is not compatible with the concept of a pandemic. But that's what we have. Doctors and nurses everywhere are afraid to lose their jobs. Hospitals may go out of business. There's a Newsweek article about hospitals are on the verge of collapse because they're not getting any business because nobody's coming in because, well, they can't do elective procedures in most places. People are afraid to come into the ER for fear that they're going to catch this elusive virus that they're told is going to kill them in 2 seconds flat due to overrated and hyped and inflated death statistics that are not accurate. And then they're just not getting COVID-19 patients. These patients are just not showing up. They're not coming. All these makeshift hospitals that were built, I mean, they're shutting them down with not having served a single patient. That 1,000-bed ship left the port of Los Angeles having, I think it left after only serving 15 patients. Another one left and served only like a dozen or two, or none. There was a Seattle hospital that they shut down and not a single patient was seen in it. There was a makeshift hospital elsewhere, not a single patient. All these makeshift hospitals that they thought would be necessary, and they're just not. I mean, they were just not. We're not getting these patients. They're not. Golly, what is wrong with the lock-on on this guy? You have to be so close to hit him. It's crazy. There we go. So anyway, got a new monitor. I also bought a... What did I get? Something for my computer. Oh, I'll tell you guys more about it later. I might even do a video on it, although it's not directly game related, so perhaps not. But it's something to help me to write more. Let's go hit the... It's always a good idea to hit the bonfire ASAP so that you don't die and have to go all the way back. Hit that bonfire as soon as possible. There are a few reasons not to. If, for example, you know, you've got something you're taking care of, you don't want to respawn all the enemies before you finish something up, so... There, should be able to level now. And those are going into strength. Strength. You know that strength, you want that high strength. This is actually turning out to be a pretty fun playthrough, guys. I don't have a strict set of guidelines about what to talk about during this entire series. I just had a pretty good idea in my head of stream of consciousness. You'll realize which of my playthroughs are very, not scripted, but have very detailed lists of things to talk about, and which ones are more open-ended. This one's more open-ended. Alright, guys. So, during this pandemic, you should, well, scamdemic, what you should be doing is, let's see, let's kindle one more time to 20. You should be the rock. You should be the stability. You should be the confidence to her lack of confidence, to everyone's lack of confidence. Your mom needs you to be confident. Your sisters, your female coworkers, your daughter, your female friends, or acquaintances, really. Girlfriend, your dates, if you have multiple dates. And that's great if you do. You just never mislead a woman into thinking she's the only one if she's not. Your wife, if you have one. Because they will be more prone to panic. It's just a thing. It's what they do. Women tend to panic more than men. Women tend to freak out more than men. Women tend to experience higher emotional highs and lower emotional lows than men. Tend to. The reason we see more, this is not a real word, I don't think, but the reason we see more emotionality out of men is because society is pushing that. And, you know, we do change a little bit based on what society pushes. We don't change completely. There are inherent parts of us genetic. They're biological. They're not going to change. No matter what society tells a man, he's not going to... Most men, 99.9% of men, are not going to find fat... fat women with short hair and splotchy skin and cellulite. They're just not going to find that attractive. That's you could not program that into most men. It's not a thing that can be done. There are certain natural biological instincts that we have that cannot be undone by society. However, we can be pushed to go in a direction. Like, for example, feminism tries to push women to go in one direction, and they're often unhappy and don't know why, and they don't realize it's because They follow the tenet of feminism rather than what will naturally lead them to happiness, and feminism is not it. Feminists are notoriously unhappy with themselves in society. Boy, that tea got cold. Or, well, really, lukewarm fast. Not very hot. Oh, look at that. A little backstabbing. Backstabbeth. Alright, that's a name I saw in World of Warcraft. I thought was really clever on a rogue. His name was Backstabbeth. I've just always remembered that. Look at that, no fall damage. Let's do it. Seath. Oh, I haven't coughed or hacked lately. That's good. Maybe this allergy medicine is working. So, don't blame women when they sort of panic and they freak out a little more and they buy up all the hand sanitizer and they want to sanitize every surface and they want to spray Lysol on everything and they don't want you to take the kids anywhere, and no, you shouldn't go to the park even if you can go to the park because you might encounter someone who's sick. That's a more instinctual thing for women. For men, they're more of this mindset of just like, whatever, I don't care, who cares? If we get sick, we'll be fine. And that's where I'm at. That's kind of the mentality I've got. And I think that's probably going to get you through this a lot better than worrying about getting COVID-19 and dying from it. The CDC just released their more recent data, and yes, it is a fact. The CDC revised their COVID-19 death numbers down significantly, as much as half. You understand that? Halved the numbers, depending on which ones you're looking at for what locations and time frames. Now, there are a lot of these supposed fact checkers out there, almost all of them progressive and liberal sources, saying, no, they didn't revise it down. Those were just provisional death counts. Now they're just using more accurate death. No, they had death counts listed on their website. Golly. I tried to do a quick quit out, but oh well. They had death counts listed on the website. That number was brought down. End of story. That's it. That's the argument that's being made. People are claiming that's a myth or that's false or that's fact-checked as false. No, that is fact-checked as true. It's reality. It's a fact. You can call them provisional death counts, whatever you want. They were death counts being reported as death counts. They were labeled as death counts. They were reported by news as death counts. If it's called a death count, it's a death count, and the death count was cut down. Period. So, all the initial statistics saying that, all these people were dying from COVID-19, no, they weren't. We forgot that, people die of all sorts of different causes and may or may not at that time be positive for one or more other conditions. If you die with the herpes virus in your system, that does not automatically mean that herpes killed you. However, that's how we were treating COVID-19. Anybody who died and turned out to be positive for COVID-19 was erroneously, unscientifically, and stupidly listed as a COVID-19 death. That is not science. It's not how data should work. That's how you lie with statistics. Because you just change one little word. Died with becomes died of, and it changes everything. Dying with a condition is not the same thing as dying of the condition. So, if, for example, you get in a car accident and you bleed to death in the car from the accident, and you happen to be positive with herpes, does not mean the herpes killed you. It didn't. We know that definitively. You died from blood loss from a car accident. No relation to the herpes. Now, the other more difficult scenario is what's known as comorbidities. Up to 90 to 99%, depending on which statistics you look at. Yes, high 90s at least. 90-some% of everyone who died, who they thought died of COVID-19, they even thought died of it while positive for it, had some other mitigating factor. Some other factor that in and of itself could have killed them. Severe pneumonia. Also had the flu, had severe heart problems, already had severe kidney problems. They had a serious terminal cancer. They had emphysema. They had COPD. They had severe diabetes, atherosclerosis, and all these other conditions that would make it difficult for them to fight off even a minor infection of any type, including the flu. Most people who die from the flu don't die just because they have the flu. They die because they're also unhealthy in one of a number of other ways. Yes, people who died in car accidents were literally listed as dying from COVID-19. Yes, a guy who fell and hit his head and died from complications from the fall was falsely listed as dying from COVID-19, and they even made a story about how he and his wife died simultaneously from COVID-19. I posted that on my Twitter account if you want to see it. It was one of those tug at the heartstrings bullshit stories about, oh, they died together from COVID. No. The wife died from a variety of different conditions while positive for COVID-19, and the husband literally fell and hit his head on pavement and died from those complications. And they were both excessively old. People are still dying from the complications of old age, guys. COVID-19 is nothing new. Well, I mean, people dying while being positive for a virus because of complications is nothing new. This is what the flu has been doing all of this time. You've been killing grandma all this time, guys. So when you have data, when you know the data, when you know the actual statistics, when you know the real science, you get beyond the CNN bullshit. You get beyond the sensational CNN nonsense. That's how you avoid the panic. That's how you avoid the worry and freaking out and the constantly seeking safety, because you know it's not necessary. It's okay. You're fine. You don't need to worry about it. You can be calm even in the face of something that you should worry about. But in this case, it's easier to just realize that you don't need to worry about it, and then you're not going to worry about it. So a lot of people have asked me like why I'm not more worried about it, why I don't constantly wear a mask, why I'm not afraid to go out and do everything, why I go everywhere I'm allowed to go, don't worry about it, I pick stuff up, I put it down, I don't care if someone's within 6 feet of me. And I tell them it's because I know the data, I know the science, I know how infections work, I know how this one works, according to everything that's out there. Am I some expert? No. But you know what? I know enough to know how stuff works. So sometimes, am I smarter than the experts? No, but I don't get caught up in the hysteria like these so-called experts do. I don't get caught up in all of this. You know what happens to an expert right now who comes out and says COVID-19 is nothing to worry about? They will pretty much destroy him. He will probably lose his job. They will ruin him because you cannot speak out against the narrative right now. If you try to talk right now in a way that combats the narrative being pushed, they are going to roast you. You're going to be labeled a quack. They're going to take down your video, whatever it is you have out there. They're going to say that you're crazy. They're going to try to get you fired. They're going to put your name out there. You know what I mean? It is not safe to challenge the narrative. It has never been safe to challenge the narrative. That's how society works. Once a narrative gets built, you better jump on board the train, or it's going to be trouble for you. That's just... I mean, once you realize how hysteria works, guys, you stop thinking that there's safeguards built into society to make sure we don't all jump on the hysteria train. That's exactly what is happening here. This is the hysteria train in action, guys. This is mass hysteria, groupthink, everyone jump on board. You better just believe what you're told, do what you're told, and that applies to experts too. I know doctors who tell me personally when I'm at work, they think this is all nonsense, but, you know, they're not going to say anything because they don't want, you know, the news getting a hold of it or their company firing them, the hospital where they work. Of course this is nonsense. And you know it's nonsense because when the journalists go in front of Trump, they're joking, they're laughing, they're making jokes about, I heard somebody call this the Kung Flu. No, you didn't. You didn't hear anybody call it the Kung Flu at the White House. You just made that shit up off the top of your head because you thought it was funny. And you're making a joke, which is fine. Who cares, right? So anyway, oh, you know what? I should have gotten the Moonlight Sword from him. Moonlight Greatsword, Moonlight Sword, whatever it is. Let's see if I can get a level off this. I need like 80-some thousand. Oh, shit. I'm way far away from leveling. Darn it. I'm gonna have to pop some of those boss souls. But let's see. Yeah, it looks like maybe pop some boss souls here. Some boss souls in storage. Let's pick one that we don't need. From the bottomless box. The Soul of Artorias, Soul of Quay. You know what? I already have the Quelaag sword on another build, so we'll pop that one. Maybe that'll be enough. Almost. We'll do another one. Oh, you know what? I've already got the... I already have the axe for the Iron Golem, so we can pop that one too, and we'll be good with that. Done. So guys, display your masculinity in all the ways that you can, and one of those ways includes not panicking, not freaking out, not always seeking safety, not always seeking the bubble-wrapped, safe, careful lifestyle. And that's also boring. That's just boring. We've done the Four Kings. Seath. I usually leave... Let's see. Let's go this route. Nito might be interesting. I don't know. He might be weak to lightning. We'll see. Maybe Nito won't be that tough. I just don't have a divine weapon, and I really shouldn't use one, because that's sort of cheating, given that I'm not supposed to have a divine weapon on my Ornstein build. Did we tackle Ceaseless Discharge already? Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. Yeah, you know, I don't think we have. Maybe we did. We'll see. So, I bought that new monitor. I bought something, a device to help me with writing, and I'll show you, well, tell you more about that later, future episode of a playthrough. And society is reopening, finally. That's good, because it never should have closed, because that was stupid, and there was no data behind that. I like to remind people, there is literally no data, no science supporting the notion about locking down everything and social distancing. And they found that the coronavirus can expel from a person and go up to like something like 15 feet away from you. So this whole 6-foot rule is nonsense. This wearing masks all day long is mostly nonsense. I mean, wearing a mask temporarily in a nursing home because there's susceptible people, in a hospital room with a immunocompromised person, wearing it during a surgery you're doing, this makes sense. But wearing a mask all day long at work, at the grocery store, wearing gloves, getting in your car with the mask and gloves on, it's not. That's stupid. It's just dumb. And I know a lot of you are doing it because you're told to by your your employer, or you're doing it because other people expect you to do it and you want other people to be at ease. The only time I've ever put on a mask is when I'm required to do it to put others at ease. But no, I don't do it for myself because it's dumb. It's dumb. You don't live life behind a mask. That's just not a thing. That's not how science and data, that's not what science supports at all. So, you know, keep in mind that a lot of this is just nonsense. Woo! I think that's just a move he makes. It's not actually an attack. I don't think it does any damage no matter where you're standing. Oh. I have no idea how close that was. Don't want to know, most likely. We're going to go over here and see if we can get him to fall off again. I remember there was a time when it never seemed to work for me. Like, I'd go all the way over here, and no matter what, he'd just hang back and blast me with that fire attack that you just can't block. Or dodge. Oh my goodness. I didn't know he had this piece up there. Oh, you can hit that piece up there. Huh. Crazy. Well, there you go, guys. That was easier done than said, almost. A free 40,000 souls, basically. So, confidence is an inherently masculine trait. Somebody asked on Twitter, I forgot the guy's Twitter account profile. I would tell you who it was if I could remember. If you check my Twitter account, you'll see it. He said, what are the two biggest mistakes? Well, this is a paraphrase, but the two biggest mistakes people make in the sexual marketplace in terms of killing their own sexual market value. The two biggest mistakes, or the one biggest mistake that men make and the one biggest mistake that women make. I disagree with him, but his were interesting. I said that the biggest mistake a man can make is lacking confidence, and the biggest mistake a woman can make is being fat. I mean, it's not a nice thing to say, it's just reality. There's nothing a woman can do to really get beyond that. Now, do fat women get guys? Yeah, just because they settle for her when they can't get the other women that they actually want. And this is what misleads women into thinking that their SMV, their sexual market value, is higher than it really is. Because when guys can't find anyone else and settle for her, she starts to think, oh, look, all these guys are willing to sleep with me and get with me and hook up with me, so I must be pretty good. Maybe I'm better than I think. No, lady, you're not better than you think. You're just their chick of last resort. I think that's the best way to put it. Chick of last resort. They can't get the women they want, but you end up being the woman they can get in the end. You're the chick they settle for. So just keep that in mind. Unfortunately. I wonder if I can stab up at him. Oh, yeah. Keep doing that move. That move won't kill me. Well, I'm almost done with this guy. Easy mode. The additional distance on the spear makes a huge difference there. I remember last time I had to get so close. There we go. I could have shot him with lightning, but I don't want to blow through all my durability if I don't need to. Let's... You know what? I already forgot to be in human form for Knight Kirk, so whatever, skip it. So, by displaying confidence, you're being inherently masculine. Women like confidence. Women want to see you confident. The number one thing that kills it for men, I think, when approaching women, when talking to women, when trying to date women, is a lack of confidence. Oh, they're taking 3 shots? What? And I think the number one thing that kills it for women is just looking unattractive. There's no other way to put it. So there's so many things a woman can do to improve her looks that there's no reason for a woman to get hopeless and think, oh, there's nothing I can do, I'm just ugly. You know, there's women that think they can't lose weight or they can't do this, and chances are it's not true. I doubt that. I highly, highly doubt that. Oh. This medium roll is throwing me off here. Whoa, that tracked unexpectedly. So, you go out there, you display confidence, and I think the number one way that men increase their own confidence is not just by, like, feeling it, just getting up enough nerve and being like, I gotta believe in myself, is by actually doing things to generate confidence, being competent. And we talked about last time, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as competent, capable, in charge, and worthwhile? Or do you see yourself as incompetent, clueless, subordinate, and unworthy? And the number one way to improve that view of yourself is not just to believe in yourself and read self-help books, but to actually develop new skills, get a better job, make more money, get in shape, go to the gym when it reopens, lift weights, build your body, build your mind, build your social circle. That'll do so much more than just trying to, quote, believe in yourself or know that you're worthy or some other crap like that. I think as men, we tend to see through that as BS. Oh, damn, that was like right on top of me. Oh, that's gonna get me. Jeez. I like how it knocks me in the direction of the attack. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like it's sucking me towards it. Woo! I'm fighting this in a slightly sloppy manner, but, you know, whatever. I prefer that move when he's far away because it doesn't have that big aura attack on it. And hitting the tail is always an easy place to keep some distance while still doing damage. Oh no! Oh, whew. I got stuck on him. Oh yeah, the R2s are not worth it. The R2s are just not worth the extra stamina cost in the time. I think all he drops is the catalyst? Yeah. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to pick it up. Oh well. So, build yourself up, guys. If you want to know some ways to do that, watch my Red Pill Basics series. That is a great series for doing just that. It takes you through a lot of the basics of what to do, steps to take, practical steps to take, and some like more generic advice that you got to sort of apply on your own, figure out on your own. I'm in agreement with Rollo Tomasi, the author of The Rational Male, a book I think you guys should read. I don't think it's good to be prescriptive. I think it's good to give people the tools to do it themselves. Rather than give you a 10-step, here's how to build it, here's the hammer, here are the 10 steps, follow this guide. I think it's better because this is we're not all building the same thing. That's the problem. If we were all building like a chair, we're all building the same chair, yeah, we can do the step, follow all these steps and all that jazz. But since we're all building different things ultimately in different ways, then the solution is like, here's the hammer, here are all the nails, here are the blocks of wood, here are the whatever those little pieces are, those L-shaped metal pieces that hold pieces of wood together. I can't even think of it, but anyway, here's some frame. Here's this. You basically give men all the tools they need to build what they need to build, or what they ultimately decide they want to build. And then they can take it from there. And you can show them examples and tell them what you built or what other guys have built. But the idea is we don't just sit there and go, follow these 10 steps to be enriched, or do this and that. That's the scam, you know? This medium roll is just killing me. I cannot figure it out. Golly, I actually drank that, but it didn't count. Ooh, good, good, good. I'm glad he did that, because I would have died had he hit me. Okay. What the hell? When does he not... He got out of... I'm in disagreement here. I don't think this is how this boss fight works. What? Oh. It's like the medium roll doesn't work in this game. I swear. That's why you have to fast roll or just wear heavy armor, I guess. The medium roll doesn't work worth a shit. Oh, I'm having the worst fight ever. Worst ceaseless discharge fight ever. Let me get that arm right there if I can. I don't know if I can quite aim at it properly here, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Oh. Yeah, I can't quite get to it. It's just hovering just above where my spear stabs. Uh-oh. Woo, that was close. I knew that was going to be close. Here we go. Damn. I'm just wasting those attacks. Alright, I think I got this. Yep, there we go. Whew, that was a sloppy fight, almost died. Give me that ring. Oh, did I already get it? Oh, I guess I already got it when I cut off that other piece. Okay. There we go. Let's run. So I think the best strategy is to join some of these communities that are out there, and there are free communities for like Red Pill or Masculinity or whatnot. Build yourself up and see what other people have done, what other men have done, what has worked for them, what hasn't, what advice they can give. And that way you guys can figure out where you want to go if you're kind of right now not sure what the deal is. Let's see how many this, 10? 5. Yeah, let's do this. We're gonna boost that up. And we're at 45 minutes, so we're gonna get to the next bonfire and probably call it there. I don't know if we're actually gonna tackle this boss before this is over. Probably not. I think boss is gonna take a little more time than we have. Because we have to run all the way to that bonfire. And then there's like the 3-part battle with this boss. Alrighty, let's kindle it again. 15. That'll be good enough. We don't really do a whole lot off this bonfire. I just hate having a bonfire in New Game Plus be 5 Estus, and that's all. I think we can level up. So now, let's see. Okay. So that gives us 1 point of damage each. That gives us 25 health. 1.2 on endurance. Let's do this. I wanna get some additional damage out of this. Never hurts to do more damage. When it comes to doing more damage and having more health, I think doing more damage in general is more useful in this game. There are definitely games where that's not the case. One game I'm waiting for is Hellpoint, the full version to release. I played the demo, which they're now calling Hellpoint the Thespian Feast, which is a really strange name for it, but whatever. I did my first reviewing my Steam library on that, so sort of like a demo. They're no longer calling it the demo, but it's pretty much the demo. I've got Doom Eternal, which I haven't played much of. I thought I would play it from start to finish, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I might do a live stream playing Doom. I can't remember what I played in my last live stream. What did I play? I can't for the life of me remember. I don't think it was Dark... Maybe it was Dark Souls? No, it couldn't have been. I only did a 1-episode thing, so... Oh, I played the Thespian Feast. That's right. The game I just talked about. Was getting some ideas for what to say in my Steam library review of it. It's an interesting game. I think if you like Dark Souls, it's definitely worth checking out. No doubt about that. Yep, we're going to call it at the next bonfire, guys. We are almost there. That'll be at 50 minutes. Keeping these episodes between 50 minutes and an hour. As a general rule, I don't fight the dinosaur butts and legs. I just find them kind of frustrating, especially out in the lava, making all that noise. Every step you take. Just unnecessary, am I right? There should be a mod to get rid of that horrible noise the lava makes. In addition to the horrible eyesore of the lava. Done. Alright. Well, guys, well, next we pick it up. Obviously, we're going to go tackle the Bed of Chaos. After that, we'll hit the... Neo, or not Neo, oh my goodness. Nito, that's close to Neo. Neo 2, I am waiting for that to come to PC. When Neo 2 does come to PC, I'll definitely pick it up and do a review in my Steam library on it. I think I still need to do one for Sekiro, actually. I didn't like Sekiro as much as I hoped I would. I just didn't, unfortunately. So, maybe FromSoft and I are just parting ways in the type of games that we like. We'll see how that goes. I definitely didn't like Dark Souls 2 that much. It had some good, but it was the wrong direction, I thought. Bloodborne was okay, but I sold my PS4. I don't have one anymore, so I don't have Bloodborne. I really want them to bring that to PC. I don't think they will. And then Demon Souls is great. I can play that on an emulator. I sold my PS3, but I can emulate Demon Souls really well, 60 FPS most of the time. 1920 by 1080 with some additional effects, so I prefer to play it on that than the PS3 anyway. And then Dark Souls 3, just... I don't know, I gotta be honest, after playing it through a couple times, just don't feel that pull towards it anymore. I don't know, it's hard to put my finger on it. It doesn't feel as inspired. It's not as bad as Dark Souls 2. I think Dark Souls 3 is much better than Dark Souls 2, but I think I played Dark Souls 2 just because I could complain about it, and it generated more of an opinion from me. In my opinion, Dark Souls 3 was just okay. It was just good, but I expected more than good from a Dark Souls game. I think they should have called it something else too. Just get away from the Dark Souls name, and that way you don't have to carry any of that baggage. Well, guys, that is it for today. I'm Fox of FoxeoGames. Make sure to follow me here on YouTube by subscribing. Hit the notification bell icon. Select all. You always get notifications. Like the video. Leave your comments down below or dislike it. Follow me on social media. Twitter is where I'm most active. Link is in the description. With that, I will see you guys next time. Later, everybody.